It's the last metagame minute in this apartment. Good.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is Meta Game Minute. Meta Game Minute is a weekly segment where Mike or I talk about anything we want to talk about in the gaming world. I can say that intro so fast now. I've done it. How many metagame minutes have we done? Probably well over 100. That's for dang sure. But this week, I want to talk about moving your games. I'm at this weird angle here so you can kind of see our more or less entire game shelf here. So if you did not know, we are moving. Mike and I are moving. Mike is moving in with his lady. I am moving out with a friend. And the new studio will be where Mike lives. So you will see changes happen. We'll probably do a metagame minute or two or some kind of videos about the new studio, about us building the new studio, all that different kind of stuff. But nonetheless, we're in the process of packing up our entire apartment. And probably the last thing to go is going to be our studio because we're going to have to be filming throughout the week, streaming throughout the week. But nonetheless, we have then come into the problem of how do we move all of this? Because games are objectively tough to move. They're much harder than something like books or something like DVDs or CDs or anything else that's like something where you have a ton of them that you then need to move to a new house. Board games are hard, and for the simple reason of the fact that they're just large. Board games are huge, like compared to like books or DVDs or whatever, something like that. Board games are seriously massive. Something like Clank here, which is a very, very standard size box size, the Ticket to Ride size box, that kind of stuff. That's probably have more of that kind of box than any other thing. There are a number of other size boxes, you know, the Castell size box, which is a little bit smaller and probably a little bit easier, but nonetheless, they're still pretty big. And we have small games, but the vast majority of our small games are in one of these that go into our Calyx shelf. So our small games are already kind of packed up. So that leaves everything else. And how should we go about packing it? We have been kind of discussing it for a couple weeks now, and trying to figure out what's the best way to do it, because this is a problem we really haven't had, because most of our board gaming interests or board gaming careers, board game whatever, has taken place in this apartment. When we moved to this apartment, we had 10 games, maybe 15? That's it. I distinctly remember taking a picture of our board games because I was very proud, like, look how many board games we have, because I put them in a big stack and the stack like came up to like here, and I was like, wow. And now like one of these shelves would come into a stack of like, you know, to the ceiling, you know, and so that's like not nearly as impressive. But back then we were very, very happy with it, very proud of it. But I remember it being kind of a pain back then to transfer those games because we had like 10 or 15 and we kind of just carried them like this, put them in a bag, kind of like secured them in a car, and then brought them in here, and that was all fine. So we were like, should we just do that? Like, should we just carry them down to a car and kind of do multiple trips with games? Because we didn't want to put them in boxes because they're so square and rectangular and just big and bulky that like even if we had like a big box, the most we'd be able to fit in any given box is like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Especially if you're doing something like Zombicide, something that's got a really big box, or something like Fireball Island that has a really huge box. Like, you're not even be able to fit that. You're going to be able to fit like 5, 4, something like that. And we're like, we're going to use so many boxes to put our boxes of games in. This just isn't going to work. So we are putting it out there to you. What do you all suggest? Have any of you had to do this? Have any of you had to move your game collection? Even if you're moving it to a different room, that still is kind of like, oh man, should I just carry them all? Or should I put them in, you know, even that can cause a lot of different problems. Moving them all from that room to this room when we moved our studio from the dining room to the living room, even that was kind of a pain. We had to take everything off and lug it on over, then put everything back on. It was a huge pain. So if you've gone through this before, if you have any suggestions, please put it down in the comments below. Here's what we're thinking. And someone actually suggested this in our This Week in Murphdom video. And this is what we were thinking before that person suggested it, but this kind of doubled up on us thinking that this might be what we're going to do. So we're thinking about getting one of them big old rolls of saran wrap that like people use to like wrap pallets at like grocery stores. I used to work at a grocery store, and we used to wrap pallets of those big old honking things of saran wrap, and it would keep everything in place. And when you saran wrap something, it actually gets very, very strong. And so what we're thinking about is just leaving the games on here and then each individual shelf just saran wrapping the ass out of it, and then just carrying the whole shelf. Now that causes some problems with the fact that the shelves already are not super light. These are big Calic shelves, and they although they're cheap IKEA wood, they're still big enough where they tend to be kind of heavy. And if you're leaving this many games on it, that is a lot of weight. Games are heavy. They're really, really heavy. And so we're like, okay, but we'll have a dolly or two. And we're like, man, if we have a dolly, do we think that's something we could swing? Because if we can keep them all together like this, that would be amazing. Now, here we have an elevator. Where Mike is moving, where the studio is going to be, there is not going to be an elevator. So we're going to have to then get those shelves upstairs, which will be hard. Mike and I are pretty strong, but that's going to be tough. But at the same time, like, we've gotten refrigerators and big giant couches and other things upstairs before. We probably could do it, we probably could do it. So that's what we're thinking right now. And it's actually nice because none of our shelves are actually that big. Right here, which you can't see off screen, we have a 1x4, the 4 being the 4 different kind of cubbies here. We have a 1x4, and then we actually have 4 2x4s. This is a 2x4, we have a 2x4 over there that matches this one with the kind of beige. And then this is a 4x4, but this is actually 2 different shelves. We have a green shelf, and then we have a black shelf here. So this is actually all 2x4, 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 2x4. So the good thing is if this was a 4x4, I don't think we could keep the games on here. I think it would be way too heavy to try and do with something like a dolly. I don't trust the structural integrity of IKEA shelves to be able to hold that much weight if we're trying to like pull it back on a dolly and like wheel it around and stuff. But nonetheless, because they're all 2x4s, we think we can get away with it. So that's what we're thinking. We have to find out where you can go and get one of those big rolls of saran wrap. And if you know that, please let us know. I don't know if like Home Depot carries that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, we got to find one. That's what we're thinking so far, unless someone changes our mind with a better way. So please down in the comments, let us know. Do you think we should do the saran wrap thing? Do you think... What do you think we should do? We're kind of putting it out there to you because we're kind of like, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. So let us know. And that's going to be it for this Meta Game Minute. I'm going to get back to packing. We got about a week to pack up this whole place. It's going to be terrible. But nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Murphy. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you already know how to do. Love you to death. And remember, whether your games are staying right here or they're going to a new studio for this exciting new future thingy, remember, the more meta, the more better. Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for watching that video. We honestly really appreciate it. We just want to take a second to remind you that we are sponsored by Restoration Games. We also play all of our games on top of Game Toppers right here, which are these beautiful luxury game tables. And you can go to Game Topper LLC to find out more and to upgrade your gaming experience. We also have a Patreon. If you have a couple shekels lying around, you like what we do, please feel free to throw them at our faces. We will not say no to them. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you later. All right. Ooh. All right. Mikey, what do you want to do? You want to get Ty?
Nick!
Jesus. Oh my gosh. Big face disheveled Nick. You can't just do that.
Sorry, not sorry. What are you guys doing? You guys getting Thai food? I love Thai food. I want some. Give me some.
No, you can't have Thai food.
Why not?
No, you can't have Thai food because you don't eat food. You're not real.
You're not real.
No, I'm not dealing with you right now. I'm not dealing with you right now, okay?
I'll kill your children.
What?
What? You guys getting Thai food? What?